Hello, welcome to Python Beginner Project 10 Day 10 Project. This comprehensive course is designed for beginners who are interested in learning Python programming through practical projects. By engaging in hand projects, students will gain a solid foundation in Python and develop essential programming skill. The course will cover a range of projects from setting up local server to building a personal newspaper reader, even creating a voice assistant. Also, we are going to conduct Google search, automatically sending emails, etc. Each project will introduce new concepts and techniques, allowing students to progressively enhance their Python skills while working on real-world application. In our first project, we are going to create localhost server. Then, in our second project, we are going to conduct Google search using our terminal. And in the third project, we are going to get domain information. In our fourth project, we are going to learn how we can send email using Python. Next, we are going to learn how we can create personal newspaper reader. And then we are going to learn how we can create JARVIS AI voice assistant. We are going to create YouTube downloader, how we can extract COVID-19 data using web scraping, etc. By the end of this course, they will have solid understanding of Python fundamentals and be well prepared to take on more advanced projects or further their Python learning journey. Good to see you back, guys. We are going to start our journey with this project. Basically, we are going to create our own localhost server using Python. As you can see in my current working directory, there is an HTML page named index.html. And if I open this page, as you can see, it is just a bootstrap layout. As you can see, it's worked perfectly. But the problem is, this file is not served by a server. We just open our website through our file, not by a server. That's why you can see the file location in our URL bar section. To use localhost server, web designer and developer use XAMPP, otherwise WAMP localhost servers. This application turn our computer into a localhost server. And this application is very useful for a big project. But for a small project, you don't need any application to create your own localhost server. You can create your own localhost server using Python. For that, just you need to follow my step. At first, you need to open your current working directory. Then you need to press Shift and right click. Here you can see an option, Open PowerShell window here. Click on it. And it open your Windows PowerShell. And before jumping into the next step, you need to have Python installed on your computer. And here you can see Windows PowerShell. Already our current working directory path is selected. And then just you need to type Python space dash m space http dot server. Then you need to press enter. As you can see, serving HTTP on. Also you can see the port 8000. And now we need to jump into our browser, and here we need to type localhost :8000. And I'm going to press enter. As you can see, it served the same HTML document, but this time it's going to serve by a server, not by a file. So here we create our own localhost server using just one line of code. So we start our Python project journey with this basic one. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next Python trick. And then we are going to start our real projects. Good to see you back, guys. Once again, I'm back with a new exercise. And in this exercise, I'm going to conduct Google search in our terminal. So at first, we need to create a Python file. So here I'm going to type main.py. And now I'm going to type the module's name which is required for this project. So at first, I'm going to create a single line comment. #modules. So let's take a look what modules are required for this example. So inside the multi-line comment, I'm going to type the module's name. The most important module that you need, which is Google. Pip install Google. And also we can use Beautiful Soup, but it is not necessary. Pip install Beautiful Soup 4. This module is used for web scraping. We are going to learn about it in our upcoming tutorials. And now I'm going to show you what function and parameters are required for this course. So here I'm going to create another single line comment. I'm going to type function and parameters. And then I'm going to create a multi-line comment. First, we need a function which is search. And this function is come from Google module. And now we need to understand the parameters one by one. What is the usage of these parameters? Our first parameter is query. Query string that we want to search for. So in this function, first we need to pass the search query. Our second parameter is tilde. Tilde stands for top level domain, which means we want to search our result on google.com or google.in or some other domain. I am from India, that's why I am going to use .in domain. And if you are from UK, in that case you need to use .uk domain. So according to your location, you can use your domain. Our next parameter is num, number of result we want. So using this parameter, we can set how many result we want from the Google search. Our next parameter is stop. In this parameter, we need to define last result to retrieve. Use none to keep searching forever. If you pass none value here, in that case, it's going to search forever. So we need to pass stop value for it. And our last parameter is pause. It is used for lapse to wait between HTTP requests. So without wasting your time, let's create the solution. So at first, we need to install this module. For that, you need to open Windows PowerShell, otherwise command palette. And you need to type pip install Google. If I press enter, as you can see, requirement already satisfied because I already downloaded it. But you need to complete the download process. And then we need to install another module, which is pip install beautiful soup. So I'm going to copy this line and I'm going to install it. And then I'm going to press enter. Also you can see requirement already satisfied because I already downloaded it. But you need to complete the download process. At first I'm going to use try except condition. So here I'm going to type try, and inside this try block I'm going to import search function from our Google search module. So here I'm going to type from Google search import search, and if there is an error, otherwise module not available, in that case we need to create except. So except, and I'm going to use import error. Then inside this block I want to print the error message. Print, inside the round braces I'm going to type module not found. And then I'm going to create a variable, and our variable name is query, which is going to take input from user. So here I'm going to type query, and I'm going to call input function input. Then inside the double quotes, and here I'm going to type enter your query, and \n for new line character. And then we need to use for loop. So here I'm going to type for I in search function, and now we need to pass all the parameters one by one. At first we need to pass the search query. So here I'm going to pass this one for query, which we are going to take from the user. Then we need to pass the tilde. So here I'm going to pass TLD, and tilde equal to I want to search our result from globally. That's why I'm going to use com. And our next parameter is number. How many results we want in our terminal? NUM equal to, and I want 10 result. And our next parameter is, which is stop. So here I'm going to type stop, and here I'm going to set 10 value. It's mean after showing 10 result, it's going to stop our loop. Otherwise it continuously search our result. And our last parameter is pause, and here I'm going to pass 2 seconds. Then inside this for loop I'm going to print I. So let's run the code and see is it work properly or not. So I'm going to run this code. So at first it asks from the user enter your query, and here I'm going to type COVID-19. If I press enter, as you can see, after waiting some time, it's written total 10 result. It written top 10 result URL. So we successfully conduct Google search in our terminal. This program provides 10 website links related to our query, and you can search any query. So no problem if you don't have any browser because you have terminal. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next project. Hello guys, good to see you back. Once again I'm back with a new tutorial related Python web project series. And in this tutorial we are going to create how we can get domain information using Python. We are going to find who is the owner of this domain. Also we are going to find the domain is available or not. So we are going to extract full domain details in this exercise. So let's create the Python file and start the project. So here I'm going to type main.py. Let's talk about the module we need in this project. We need whois module. Just you need to type in your terminal pip install python -whois. You already know that using this website we can find domain information. So we are going to use this module to find domain information. So I'm going to copy the module and I'm going to open my Windows PowerShell. And your Windows PowerShell you need to type pip install python -whois. If I press enter, as you can see requirement already satisfied because I already downloaded it. But you need to complete the download process. And then we need to import this module. So I'm going to type import whois. And now I'm going to create a try except condition. So here I'm going to take a variable and our variable name is URL. URL equal to input. I'm going to take input from user. That's why I call input. Then inside the round braces I'm going to type enter URL. Enter URL. Then \n for new line. And next I'm going to use try except condition. So here I'm going to type try, and inside this try block I'm going to create a variable and our variable name is domain. Domain equal to whois dot whois function. Whois. Then inside the round braces I'm going to pass the URL variable URL, and the except condition except. Inside the except block I'm going to print this domain is available. So inside the double quotes I'm going to type this. Then in my else block else I'm going to print this domain is already purchased. And then I'm going to type another print statement. Print, inside the round braces I'm going to type domain information. Domain information. And \n for new line. So at first in our try block it's going to search the domain. If the domain information is available, it means if the domain already purchased, then it's going to jump into the else section. If there is no owner of this domain, otherwise there is no information about this domain, then it is going to print the domain is available. And if the owner is available, then it's going to jump into the else section and print these statements. And to print detail about this domain in our else part, we need to create a function. So after import, I'm going to create the function. So here I'm going to type def domain underscore info. This is our function name. Then inside the round braces I'm going to pass a parameter and our parameter name is link. Then inside this function at first I'm going to access the domain. For that I'm going to copy the same line and the same variable because I want to use the same variable domain equal to whois.whois.url. And here you can see we call this function whois function whois.whois. It's mean from this whois module we call whois function. Then in the next line I want to print some statement. So at first I'm going to type print statement. Print, inside the round braces I'm going to use fstring. Then inside the double quotes at first I want to print the server information. So here I'm going to type server. Then colon. After colon, inside the curly braces I'm going to call domain server information. So here I'm going to type domain dot whois underscore server. Then I'm going to duplicate this line. And in our next print statement I want to print domain expired date. So here I'm going to type expiration date. And inside the curly braces here we need to pass domain dot expiration underscore date. And in our next statement I want to print domain owner name. So here I'm going to type name. And here we need to call domain.name. Next I want to print domain organization. So here I'm going to type organization. And here I'm going to call domain.org. It's going to print the domain organization. And in our next line, I want to print domain owner state. So here I'm going to type state. Also I'm going to print domain.state. And also I want to print owner city and country. That's why I duplicate this line 2 times again. And here I'm going to type city. City. And also you need to type city here. And at last I want to print owner country. So here I'm going to type country. Domain.country. And I'm going to save this file. So this function going to print the domain information. So I'm going to copy the function name and I'm going to call in our else part. So after print domain information, I'm going to call the function. And here I'm going to pass this URL as an argument. So I'm going to copy the URL and I'm going to paste it here. And I'm going to save this file. So before I run this code, I'm going to change the letter. As you can see, it's in capital. So I need to convert in small case. And I'm going to run my code. As you can see in my terminal, first it asks enter URL. So here I'm going to enter google.com. And I'm going to press enter. As you can see, after some time, this domain is already purchased. And also it prints the domain information. At first, it prints the server details from the whois.com. And then it's provide the expired time of this domain. As you can see, google.com domain expired in 2028. And as you can see, there is no particular owner of this domain. That's why it's provide none. And also it prints the organization, which is Google LLC. And this domain is purchased from California state. That's why it print CA. But it do not provide the city name. And also it provide the country, which is US, means United States. So you can get any domain information using this code. So now the question is how it's work. At first, it's try this block and it get the information about the domain owner. If there is no owner of this domain, it means the domain is available. Then it is going to jump into the except block and it is going to print this one. But as you can see, it do not print this domain is available because this domain is already purchased. That's why it's going to jump into the else block and print this statement. This domain is already purchased. And also it print domain information. And then after this line, as you can see, we call a function named domain_info. And as you can see, we already created the function. This function return the domain owner information. And it's print the information in our terminal. Let's run the code again. So here I'm going to type my personal domain. This is my personal domain. codetech.fun. If I press enter, as you can see, it's print all the information about me. As you can see, my domain going to expire in 2023. Also it print my name, Jayanto Sarkar. And I don't have any organization, that's why it print not applicable. And I am from West Bengal. And my city name is Jalpaiguri. And my country name is India. That's why it print IN. So I hope you like this exercise. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next project. Hello guys, good to see you back. Once again I am back with another project related Python web. And in this project we are going to learn how can we send email using some line of Python code. As usual, I already created a Python file named main.py. So here we are going to create an email sender using Gmail SMTP server. So here I'm going to type a comment, email sender. At first, we need to import a module, which is an inbuilt module, and the module name is SMTP lib. So I'm going to type import SMTP lib. And as I told you, it's an inbuilt module. Using this module, we can send email anyone. Now, before we go further, we need to get permission from the Google to log in our email account. So I am in my browser and I already log in with my Google account. At first, you need to go to the Manage Account section. Here you can see the option Manage your Google account. Then you need to click on it and it's going to redirect to Google account. Then we need to go to the Security section. After May 30, 2022, Google removed Less Secure option. Now we cannot log into our Google account using username and password with less secure application. But Google provide an alternative option. For that, first you need to activate your two-step verification. If you do not activate your two-step verification, then you cannot use the new feature. After that, then you need to search for apps. And then you need to select this option, app password. After click this option, it's redirect to this page. From here, you can generate your password for exact purpose. I want to say you can generate password for third-party login. At first, you need to select the app for which app you want to log in. So I'm going to use for mail. And then you need to select the device from which device you want to log in your mail. And I want to log in with Windows computer. So I select Windows computer. Then I'm going to click on generate option. Here you can see it provides 16-digit alternative password for email login. So I'm going to copy this password and I'm click done option. So here we generate one password for mail on my Windows computer. Now let's back to the current working directory. So in my current working directory, I open a notepad file and I want to save my password. That's it. So whenever we need to log in with third-party application to our Gmail, for that we need to use this alternative password, not the original one. Now let's back to the Visual Studio Code Editor again. So again I'm back to my Visual Studio Code Editor. And now we need to create a function to send the mail. So I'm going to type def and our function name is send email. Send email. And inside the round braces, here I'm going to pass total two parameters. First we need to pass from whom we want to send the email. So our first parameter is to and our second parameter is content. So first we need to target the email user and then we need to provide the content. Then inside this function, here I'm going to create a variable and the variable name is server. Server equal to, and we need to use a function named smtp. So from smtp lib dot, I want to call a function named smtp. Then inside the round braces, first we need to provide the service provider name and the service provider name is gmail.com. So we need to type smtp dot gmail.com and also we need to use a port number to send the email and the port number is 587. Next we need to call server.ehlo function. Server.ehlo. Now the question is, what is the usage of elo function? Elo is an SMTP command sent by mail server to identify itself when connecting to another email server to start the process of sending an email. It is followed with the sending email server's domain name. After that, we need to use another function. And the function name is startles. Server.startles. Now the question is, what is the usage of startle function? This startle command starts the negotiation between server and client. So after did all of this stuff, we need to log in our Gmail account. For that, we need to use login function. So I'm going to type server.login. Then inside the round braces, in our first parameter, we need to pass our email address. So here I'm going to type inside the single quote, your email. Your email. And in our second parameter, we need to pass the password. So here I'm going to type your password. And remember, here we need to provide the password which we generate from the app password, not your original password. And then we need to call the sendMail function. Server.sendMail. And here we need to pass total 3 parameters. In our first parameter, we need to pass our email address. So here I'm going to type your email. And in our second parameter, we need to pass from whom I want to send the email. So here I'm going to type to. And in our third parameter, we need to pass the content. So after do all of this stuff, you need to close this server. Server.close function. And it's the important one. And now we need to call if name equal to main function because we do not call the function from the other page. We are going to run the same function to this existing page. So here I'm going to type if underscore name equal to main function underscore main underscore. And inside this if name function, and here I'm going to use try except condition to handling the errors. So I'm going to type try. Inside the try block, at first I'm going to create a variable, and our variable name is content. Content equal to input. I'm going to take input from the user. Then inside the round braces, I'm going to type your text. And then \n for new line. And then we need to take another input, whom to send the mail. So here I'm going to type to equal to input. Inside the round braces, I'm going to type whom to send the email. \n for new line. Then I'm going to call the sendMail function. Send mail. Inside the round braces, I'm going to pass these 2 parameters. First, I'm going to pass to, and then I'm going to pass content. After run this function successfully, I want to print email has been sent. So I'm going to type print inside the round braces email has been sent. If we try this block, also we need to handle the exception. So here I'm going to type except exception as e. Inside this except block, print the exception. Print e. So if our email is not sent successfully, then it's going to print the error. With that, also I want to print a message. Print, and here I'm going to type, sorry, email not sent. So this is it, friends. And now you need to put your email address here, and also you need to put your password, which you generate from the app password. And also you need to put your email here. So I already put my Gmail address and my password in sendMail function. So I hide this section. And now I'm going to save this file. And after save this file, I'm going to run this code in the terminal. So I hit run button. First it asks type your text. And here I'm going to type any random text as message. Then I'm going to press enter. Now it asks whom to send the email. And here I'm going to type my another email address. And then I'm going to press enter. After press enter, it takes some time and it print email has been sent. It means it successfully sent the email to my Gmail address. So let's open the browser and check it. So here you can see the mail which I sent from my another email address using third-party app. And also you can see the random text. So this is it for this exercise, and this is how we can send email from our third-party apps using Python. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next project. I hope you enjoy this project. Good to see you back, guys. Once again I'm back with another project related Python web. And today in this project we are going to create browser web alarm. And now the question is, what is that? First we are going to take a time as an input from the user. And then we are going to take a URL website address from the user. And then we need to set an alarm to user defined time and redirect to the website which user passed. For that we are going to use our default browser. So without wasting your time, let's start it. So at first I'm going to import a module which is time module. So I'm going to type import time. Then we need to import another module which is web browser. Import web browser. Both the modules are inbuilt module in Python. Using web browser module, we can open our website in a browser. First, we need to take alarm time as an input from the user. For that, I'm going to create a variable, and our variable name is setAlarm. Set_alarm equal to input inside the round braces. Here I'm going to pass set the website alarm as, and now we need to provide the time format. I want to take value hour, minute, and second format. So user going to mention exact time when they want to open the website. And then I'm going to take another variable, and our variable name is URL. URL equal to input inside the round braces, inside the double quotes, enter the website URL. So using this input section, user can select which URL they want to open. And now we need to extract the actual time from the local system. For that, I'm going to take another variable which is actual time underscore time equal to time dot strf time. Then inside the round braces, we need to pass the time format, in which format I want the time. To extract the hour, here we need to pass modular sign, modular capital I, colon, for minute, modular capital M, colon, for second, modular capital S. As you know, capital I stands for 12-hour clock, and capital M stands for minute, and capital S for seconds. So this variable going to store the current time. And now I'm going to use while loop. And here I'm going to type while inside the round braces actual time not equal to set alarm. Then inside the while loop, I'm going to print inside the round braces the alarm is concatenate with actual time. And again we need to assign the actual time. So I copy the actual time and inside the while loop I'm going to paste it here. After mention the time, it's going to print the time in our terminal. And I need 1 second delay. For that, here I'm going to type time dot sleep function. Inside this round braces, we need to pass the second, and I want 1 second delay. And now we need to use a if condition. So here I'm going to type if inside the round braces actual time equal to set alarm, then inside the if condition I'm going to print inside the round braces your web page is opening. If user defined time and current time match with each other, then open this website. For that we need to use web browser module function. So here I'm going to type web browser dot open. Inside the round braces we need to pass our variable, which is URL. This is it. After save this file, I'm going to show you my current time. So this is our current time, 6:57 AM. So I'm going to set an alarm. So after run this code, here we need to set the alarm time. And I'm going to pass hour 06 colon time 59 colon second 00. Then I'm going to press enter. And which website I want to open? I want to open google.com. As you can see in my terminal, it prints the current time after 1 second delay. And if the current time match with the user given time, then you can see in my terminal your browser is opening. And it redirect to google.com with my default browser. So this is how we can redirect to any website anytime by using some module. So this is it for this tutorial. Stay tuned for our next project. So finally we are in my Visual Studio Code editor. And at first I'm going to create a Python file main.py. And I'm going to create a speak function that can speak our audio. So I'm going to type def speak. Inside the parentheses, I'm going to pass only one argument, and our argument name is audio. And inside this function, for now, I'm going to type pass. So in this function, we are going to provide text as argument, and this function is going to convert this text into audio. But at first, we need to install a module, which is pyttsx3. So now I'm going to open my Windows PowerShell, and then I'm going to install pyttsx3 module. Pip install pyttsx3, and then I'm going to press enter. After press enter, as you can see, it prints requirement already satisfied because I already downloaded it. But you need to complete your download process. Using this module, we can get the audio feedback. And now we need to import this module in this Python file. So here I'm going to type import pyttsx3. And now we need to call init function from pyttsx3. But first I'm going to assign a variable, and our variable name is engine. Engine equal to pyttsx3 dot init function. Then inside the parentheses, here I'm going to use our inbuilt voice module SAPI5, SAPI5, and we are going to use it for audio feedback. Basically, our Windows operating system provides two types of voice. Let me show you. So I'm going to create a variable named voices. Voices equal to engine dot get property voices. Inside the single quote, voices. If I print this variable in my terminal, let me show you. Print inside the round braces voices, then run this code. Now you can see in my terminal it prints total two different objects, and you can see the object locations, and you can choose any of these voice from these two. And now I'm going to comment out this print statement, and let's select a voice. So here I'm going to type engine dot set property. Using set property function, we can set any property. Then inside the parenthesis, in our first parameter we need to pass voice, and then in our second parameter we need to select the voice. So here I'm going to type voices, and I want to select the first voice. So inside the square braces I'm going to select 0 dot id. So we select the first voice object from our list. And if you want to see the voice name, also you can print the voice name. So I'm going to type print inside the round braces voices dot inside the square braces 0 dot id. If I save this file and run this code, now you can see in my terminal it print the voice name, and the voice name is David, and it is English US male voice. Similarly, if you want to see the second voice name, here I need to change the ID. So I'm going to type 1. If I save this file and run this code, now you can see our second voice name is Zara, and it is a female voice. And it's up to you which voice you want to choose. And for this newspaper, I would like to go with male voice. So I use 0 and comment out this print statement. And now I'm going to call main function. If underscore underscore name equal to inside the double quotes underscore underscore main. Then inside the main function, for now I'm going to type pass. Then I back to the speak function, and from pytd_3 I'm going to call save function. Here I need to type engine dot say. Inside the round braces we need to pass a argument, and the argument name is audio. Also we need to call another function, and the function name is run and wait. Engine dot run and wait. And then I'm going to jump into the main function, and I'm going to call the speak function. Speak inside the round braces we need to pass the text, and inside the double quotes here I'm going to type hello, welcome to ABC News, and I'm going to save this file. After save this file, if I run this code in my terminal, now you can see
hello, welcome to ABC News.
It successfully converted our text into audio. So that was the first step to create your own audio newspaper reader. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next part. So once again, I'm back to my Visual Studio Code Editor. And now we need to go to a website from where we want to extract the news. As you can see in my browser, we open a website named newsapi.org. And it provides the news from all over the world. At first, you need to log into this website. It's going to provide you a API key. And remember, use your own API key. Do not copy my API key. And below the Get API Key button, you can see some news. Here you can see top business headline in US right now, top headlines from TechCrunch. Here you can see a link. If we open this link, it's going to provide this JSON data. As if you notice, you can see we have total 10 result, means 10 news. And inside the articles, we have the news. Here you can see some author name, news title, news description, news content, etc. And now I'm going to copy this link. And before I open this link in my browser, we need to install an extension for our browser. If you're using Chrome browser, then go to Chrome Web Store and download JSON View. Otherwise, any JSON prettifier software. There are a lot of extensions available in Chrome Web Store. Now the question is, what it's going to do? It can prettify my JSON data into a readable format. Let me show you. If I open this link in a new tab, now you can see it organizes our JSON data into a readable format. It is not mandatory to download this extension, but it would be very helpful if you work with JSON file. And now I'm going back to the News API website, and I'm going to copy this link. And then I'm back to the Visual Studio Code. And here I'm going to create a variable named URL. URL equal to, inside the double quotes, our HTTPS address. So this URL provides all the news that we got from the News API. And now we need to import request module to access this link. Import request. And now we need to fetch this URL using request.get function. For that I'm going to take a variable news. News equal to request.get function. Inside the round braces, I'm going to provide the URL link. URL. And I want to return the result as text format. For that, we need to type dot text. Now, let's print this news variable in my terminal. Print, inside the round braces, news. If I save this file and run this code, as you can see in my terminal,
Hello, welcome to
first
ABC
it
News.
peaked. As you can see in my terminal, it provides all the news. Here you can see it provides all the articles with source, author, documents, etc. And now we need to parse this JSON file and iterate the data. So I'm going to close my terminal. And to parse the JSON file, we need to import JSON module. So here I'm going to type import JSON. And now I'm going to use load function from JSON. It's going to convert our text into a object, into a JSON object. So I'm going to type news equal to JSON dot loads function. Then inside the round braces, we need to pass news. I don't want to print whole news. I want to print the news status. Otherwise also you can print total result. So I copy this key, total result, and back to my Visual Studio Code editor. And here I'm going to pass inside the square braces news, inside the double quotes total result. If I save this file and run this code, first it's going to speak hello welcome to ABC News, because here we call speak function. Then it's going to print total result, which is 10. So let's run this code.
Hello, welcome to ABC News.
First it speak hello welcome to ABC News. Then it return the total result, which is 10. It's mean this API link going to provide total 10 news result. For now, I don't want this print statement, so I comment out this print statement. Now, let's back to the browser again. And if I show you this JSON file, if you notice, you can see in this JSON file, we have status, total result, articles. And inside this article section, we have news source, author, title, description, URL, content. It's mean, first we need to select the article section. And then we need to deep dive into the article section using for loop. I want to say we need to iterate the article, and then one by one we are going to print the news. So we need to target the article section. So first I'm going to copy the key, articles. Then I'm back to my Visual Studio Code editor. And here I'm going to create a variable, and our variable name is arts. Arts equal to news. Inside the square braces, we are going to select the article section. And now we need to deep dive to the article section and we need to extract the newses. So here I'm going to use for loop. For article in arts. Then inside this for loop, for articles in arts variable, arts. Then inside the article, first I want to access the author name. So here I'm going to print inside the round braces article, inside the square braces author. If I run this code, it's going to print all the author's name one by one. Let me show you that. So I'm going to run this code.
Hello, welcome to ABC News.
As you can see in my terminal, after speak welcome to ABC News, it print all the author name one by one. So I successfully extract the author name from the content. And now we need to speak the author name. So here I'm going to call speak function. So I duplicate this line and replace print with speak function. With that, also I want to speak the news title. For that, I'm going to select these functions and print function and duplicate it. And here I'm going to replace author with title. Title. And then I want to print the news description. I'm not going to print the content. It's going to speak the whole news. I want to print the shorter version of this news. So I'm going to select the description key. So I copy the description key and back to Visual Studio Code editor and duplicate this section. And here I'm going to replace title with description. So from this news, first it's going to print the author name. Then it's going to print the news title. And then it's going to print the description. With that, also it's going to speak author, title and news description. So after speak one news, I want to speak another statement. And here I'm going to type, moving on to the next news. So after complete the one news, this function going to speak, moving on to the next news. So let's save the file and run this code and see is it work perfectly or not. So I'm going to hit the run button.
Hello, welcome to ABC News. Read aloud. A peek into China's stance on Web3. Web3 has come to be known as the internet built on decentralized blockchains that power applications like cryptocurrencies and NFTs. The catch-all term is sometimes used interchangeably with crypto, but in China, the government is pursuing its own path in web. Moving on to the next news. Tailor hat maker. YouTube rolls back its rules against election misinformation. YouTube reverses its rules against some election misinformation, allowing some previously prohibited content around US elections. Moving on to the next news. Mary Ann Azevedo and Christine Hall. Inside Stripe's latest moves. Stripe bought a company and expanded into credit, while Brex.
So as you can see, one by one, it speak all the news. And after end of the news, it speak moving on to the next news. So we successfully create our own newspaper reader. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next project.
Good evening, Tony. Hello, Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me, how may I help you?
Who is Donald Trump?
Searching Wikipedia. According to Wikipedia, Donald John Trump, born June 14, 1946, is an American politician, media personality, and businessman who served as the 45th President of the United States from 2017 to 2021.
What if we had a Jarvis assistant like Iron Man? But today in this tutorial series we are going to learn how can we create our own Jarvis AI assistant. Hello, my name is Joyanta Sarkar. Professionally I am a web developer and Python programmer. I have been involved with this for about 5 years. This is going to be a very fun and crazy project. Using your voice command, nearly you can control everything in your computer. You can open any application, you can search browsers, you can search Wikipedia, you can open YouTube videos, you can send WhatsApp message, email, get live news update and many more. So let's take a tour. What can we do with that? So let's start with current news updates.
Good evening, Tony. Hello, Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me, how may I help you?
Today news.
News headlines. Indonesian researchers breed good mosquitoes to combat dengue, the Indian Express. The trial results showed that deploying mosquitoes with Wolbachia reduced dengue cases by as much as 77% and hospitalizations by up to 86%.
Now I'm going to open websites using my voice command.
Open Google. As you can see, it opened my web browser and redirect to google.com. Similarly, following this method, you can open YouTube also. Open YouTube. As you can see, it redirect to youtube.com. You can open any website using your voice command, like Facebook, GitHub, Stack Overflow, etc.
Not only that, we can search particular query in search engine.
Search browser.
What should I search?
Donald Trump. As you can see, after open my browser, it search the query Donald Trump. So you can search any result from search engine using voice command.
And now I'm going to ask my IP address from my Jarvis assistant.
My IP address.
Your IP is 112.79.116.58.
Let's open some application using voice command.
Open command prompt. As you can see, it open Windows command prompt. But now I want to open Photoshop using voice command. Jarvis, please open Photoshop. As you can see, it's opened my Photoshop application.
And now I want to play music from my music directory using my voice command.
Play music. As you can see, it's play our music. You can play any particular music, otherwise you can use random function to play any music from this list.
And now I want to play particular video in YouTube.
Play YouTube.
What should I search in YouTube?
Believer song. As you can see, it's open my browser. And as you can see, it's play the Believer song in YouTube.
And now I want to send a WhatsApp message using my voice command.
Send message.
Who do you want to send a message?
And then we need to pass the mobile number. And then I'm going to press enter.
What do you want to send?
hello Tony. As you can see, it sent our message.
Not only that, we can send email also.
Send email.
What should I send, sir?
Hello world. Welcome to my world.
Whom to send the email? Enter email address, sir.
Now we need to pass the email address. And then I'm going to press enter. Here you can see the content. Hello world. Welcome to my world. So our Jarvis is enough capable to send email anyone.
Hey, this is not the end. I'm going to add more and more advanced feature in this program. Hey, this is quite powerful, isn't it? For this project, we are going to use Python programming language. For this project, you don't need any special requirement. Just you should have knowledge of basic Python syntax. That's enough. This project going to enhance your Python skills. If you think it quite beneficial for you, please enroll this course. Thanks for watching this video.
So finally, I am in my Visual Studio Code editor and I already created a Python file main.py, and at first I'm going to create speak function which can speak our audio. So I'm going to type def speak. Inside the parenthesis, our first argument is audio. Then inside the speak function, for now I'm going to type pass. So in this function we are going to provide text as an argument, and this function going to convert this text into a audio. But at first you need to install a module which is pyttsx3. So now I'm going to open my Windows PowerShell, and now I'm going to install pyttsx3 module. Pip install pyttsx3, and then I'm going to press enter. As you can see, it's written requirement already satisfied, but you need to complete your download process. And then back to the editor. Actually this module is very important for audio feedback, and then we need to import this module in our file. So I'm going to type import pyttsx3, and then just follow my step and create a variable named engine. Engine equal to pyttsx3 dot init function, and inside the parenthesis I'm going to use our inbuilt voice module which is SAPI5. This is the inbuilt voice module of Windows operating systems, and we are going to use it for our audio feedback. Basically our Windows operating system provide two type of voice. Let me show you. So I'm going to create a variable named voices. Voices equal to engine dot get property, inside the parenthesis, inside the single quote voices. And if I print the voice variable, print voices, and then execute this code, here you can see it provide two different voices, means two different object, and you can choose any of these voice from these two. I'm going to comment out this print statement, and let's select a voice. So I'm going to type engine dot set property. Using set property function we can set any object from our property. Then inside the set property function, in our first parameter, inside the single quote we need to pass voice, and in our second parameter we can select the voice. Voices, inside the square braces I'm going to select 0 dot id. So we select our first object from our list, and if you want to see the voice name you can print the voice name. Let me show you. Print inside the parenthesis voices, inside the square braces 0 dot id. If I execute this code, here you can see our voice name is David. It's a male voice. And if you want to see the second voice name, then you need to pass 1 here. And if I execute this code, here you can see our second voice name is Zaira. It's a female voice. It is up to you what you want to choose. As you know, Jarvis is our male AI assistant, so I'm going to use 0 here. I'm going to use David voice for Jarvis. Now let's call the main function. If underscore name, if underscore name equal to inside the double quotes underscore main function. Then inside the main function, for now I'm going to type pass, and then I back to the speak function, and from pyttsx3 I'm going to use say function. So I'm going to type engine dot say, inside the parenthesis audio, And also we need to call another function from pyttsx3, which is engine.run and wait. So I'm going to type engine.run and wait. And also I'm going to take variable name for our author. So I'm going to type author equal to Tony. And you can use your name for this example. For now, I don't need this print statement, so I'm going to comment out it. And then I jump into the main function, and now I'm going to call our speak function. So I'm going to type speak. Inside the parenthesis, I'm going to use f string. Then inside the double quotes, I'm going to type welcome. Then inside the curly braces, I'm going to call our author name, comma, I am Jarvis. So this audio function going to speak this text, welcome author, I am Jarvis. And as you know, our author name is Tony. So it's going to speak, welcome Tony, I am Jarvis. So let's execute this code.
Welcome Tony, I am Jarvis.
So you clearly listen the voice of our Jarvis. So this is it for this tutorial. So in our upcoming tutorial, we are going to create another function which can wish the author according to time. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next part of this project. So welcome back guys, once again I am in my Visual Studio Code Editor. In this section we are going to create a function according to time. Suppose below than 12 hour, Jarvis is going to wish his author good morning. And time between 12 hour and 18 hour, Jarvis is going to wish his author good afternoon. And else it's going to wish his author good evening. So let's create the wish me function. So I'm going to type def wish me. Inside the parenthesis, I don't want to pass any argument. And inside the wish me function, for now I'm going to type pass. Before I create this function, we need to import a module which is datetime. So I'm going to import datetime. We need to use this module because we need to extract current time from our local machine. So I'm back to my wish me function. At first we need to extract hour from our local time. So I'm going to create a variable hour. Hour equal to, I want to extract hour in our current time. So I'm going to type datetime dot now. After now function, I want to extract hour. So I'm going to type hour. This function going to return hour as a string format, but we need to convert this hour in an integer format. So I'm going to use int function. And we need to move it inside the parenthesis. And now I'm going to create wish me function condition. For this, I'm going to use if condition. If hour greater than equal to 0 and hour less than 12, then inside the if condition, I'm going to call the speak function. Speak. Inside the parenthesis, I'm going to use f string. And as you know, if our time is below than 12 hour, we need to speak good morning. So I'm going to type good morning. And then inside the curly braces, our author name. Else if hour greater than equal to 12 and hour less than 18, then inside this condition, once again I'm going to call the speak function. Speak inside the parenthesis f string. Between 12 hour to 18 hour, we basically speak good afternoon. So I'm going to type good afternoon. Then inside the curly braces, author. And then else, inside the else condition, speak f string, and inside the f string, good evening. Inside the curly braces, author. If we call this function in morning time, it's going to wish us good morning. And if we call this function after 12 am, it's going to wish us with good afternoon. And if it cross 18 hour, it's going to wish us with good evening. And outside the else if condition, I want to call speak function once again. Speak, inside the parenthesis, I'm going to use f string once again. After wish me, it's going to introduce himself. So I'm going to type hello, inside the parenthesis, author name. Hello Tony, I am Jarvis. And also it asks for assistant. So I'm going to type, please tell me how may I help you. Tell me how may I help you. You. So we successfully create our wish me function. And now we need to call this wish me function inside the main function. So I'm going to comment out the speak function and I'm going to call wish me function. So let's execute the code and see what is the feedback of our AI.
Good morning, Tony. Hello, Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me how may I help you?
So as you can listen, it successfully execute our wish me function. So this is it for this tutorial. In our upcoming tutorial, we are going to take user voice input using take command function. So stay tuned for our next tutorial. Welcome back, guys. Once again we are in my Visual Studio Code editor. And this is the most important part of this exercise. Because in this part we are going to learn how can we take audio input and convert it into a text. So at first I'm going to create a function which is take command. Def take command. And inside the function, for now I'm going to type bus. But first we need to install a module to take command from the user. Once again I open my Windows PowerShell and I'm going to type pip install speech recognition and then I press enter. As you can see, requirement already satisfied, but you need to complete the download process. So let's back to the code editor. Now first we need to import this module in our file. So I'm going to type import speech recognition as SR, and now I'm going to create a doc string in this function and I'm going to type take microphone input from the user and return string. So this function going to take microphone input from the user and it's going to return a string. And then we need to call recognizer function from this module. R equal to SR dot recognizer. This recognizer function help to take voice input. Then with SR.microphone function as source. Then inside this function print listening. And now I'm going to change pause threshold value r.pause threshold. And I'm going to increase the pause threshold value 1.5. Now the question is, what is pause threshold? If I press Ctrl and click on pause threshold, here you can see what is pause threshold. As you can see, it's mean seconds of non-speaking audio before a phrase is considered complete. By default, it's come with 0.8 second. It's mean after a word you stop for more than 0.8 second, then it's going to complete the phrase. And if you increase the pause threshold value, then you can wait 1.5 second after a word. This is the use case of pause threshold value. And then we need to use listen function. Audio equal to r.listen. Then inside the parenthesis source. Inside the listen function, I pass the audio source. And if you click the listen function, here you can see what listen function can do. If you want to understand it, you can read the whole document. And once again, I'm back to my main.py file. And now I'm going to use try except condition. Try inside the try block. At first, I'm going to print a statement. Print inside the parenthesis, inside the double quotes, I'm going to print recognizing. And then we need to use the engine which can convert the audio into a string. So I'm going to type query equal to r dot. You can use recognizing Bing, recognizing Google Cloud, recognizing IBM, recognizes Phoenix. You can use anything you want, but I'm going to use recognize Google. This is the same engine which is used in your Android phone. And recognize Google is very powerful and so accurate. So in this function, first I'm going to pass audio as a parameter. And then we need to pass language. I am from India, so I'm going to use en-in, means English India. It's going to convert the audio into a text. And then I'm going to print. Inside the parenthesis, I'm going to use f string. And inside the double quotes, I'm going to type user said. Inside the curly braces, I'm going to pass the query. And then I'm going to type \n for new line character. And if I show you the recognize Google function, here you can see our recognize Google function use Sneaks engine. And as I told you earlier, this function also used in our Android mobile. So it's very correct. So we complete our take command function. If there is a problem in our code, then we need to handle the exception. So I'm going to type except exception as e. Inside the exception, I want to print a statement. Print, inside the parenthesis, I'm going to use f string. Sorry. And our author name is Tony. Sorry Tony. Comma, say that again. And also I return a string, none. It is not a function, just a string, none. And outside the exception, also I want to return query. Return query. Suppose you speak something, but it does not recognize. In that case, it's going to return, sorry Tony, say that again. And also it return none. So let's call the function and check is it properly work or not. So first I'm going to comment out the wishme function, and then I'm going to call take command function. So let's execute the code and see is it work or not. Hello world. As you can see, it's recognizing. Let's wait some time. As you can see, it's written hello world. User said hello world. So as you can see, our take command function worked perfectly. It can listen our voice, it also can recognizing our voice and convert the voice into a text. So we successfully take voice user input from the user. So in the next part of this project, we are going to integrate Wikipedia and search result from Wikipedia using a voice command. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next part of this video. Maybe you face this kind of problem when you call take command function. Attribute error could not find Pyaudio and no module name Pyaudio, and it is throw a error in your terminal. And if you try to download this module in Windows PowerShell, pip install Pyaudio, as you can see it connecting the Pyaudio file, but it do not complete the download process. If you don't have required build tools in your Python, in that case you can face this kind of problem. Maybe some files are missing in your computer. So let's see how we can solve this problem. At first you need to open your browser, then you need to search unofficial Python binary files. And then you need to open this link. It's redirect to this website. These all are Python modules. But we need to download Pyaudio wheel file. So I'm going to type Ctrl F and I'm going to type Pyaudio. This one. And as you can see, someone already built wheel file for us. And you need to download the exact wheel file according to your Python version. If I open Windows PowerShell and just type Python and then I press enter, as you can see our Python version is 3.10 and also it is 64-bit. So according to this version, we need to download this binary file. So I'm going to click on it. As you can see, it downloaded it. And then you need to open the download folder. And here you can see the wheel file named Pyaudio. So we need to install this file as a Python module. And if you are Windows user, first press Shift and then press right click. Here you can see an option Open PowerShell here. Then just you need to type pip install and our module name is Pyaudio. So I'm going to type py and then I'm going to press tab. And as you can see, it auto-complete the file name. And then you need to press enter to install this wheel file. As you can see, Pyaudio is already installed with the same version as the provided wheel, because I already downloaded this file, but you need to complete the download process. And then if I type Python and also I import Pyaudio module, as you can see there is no error. So following this method you can install any module. Now our take command function worked properly. So thanks for watching this video. I hope I solved your problem. Good to see you back guys. Once again I am in my Visual Studio Code editor. In this tutorial we are getting result from Wikipedia using our voice command. If you want to know about anything, you can ask your AI for result. Then Jarvis is going to return result from Wikipedia. So let's start the practical. So at first I'm going to comment out the take command function and I'm going to call wishme function. Then inside the main function I'm going to use if condition. If 1, then inside the if condition I want to run this function for one time. If you want to run this function over and over again, you can use while loop. And inside the if condition I'm going to type query equal to take command function dot lower function. So first I'm going to convert our user query into a lowercase. And now we need to install Wikipedia module. So I'm going to open my Windows PowerShell. And then I'm going to install Wikipedia module. So I'm going to type pip install Wikipedia. If I press enter, as you can see, it print requirement already satisfied. I already downloaded this module, but you need to complete the download process. So let's back to the Visual Studio Code editor and type some code. Inside this if condition, I'm going to create another if condition. If, and in this if condition, I'm going to assign trigger word for Wikipedia, which is Wikipedia. Wikipedia and who. Who is another trigger word for Wikipedia in query. Then inside the if condition, at first I'm going to call the speak function. Speak inside the parenthesis searching Wikipedia. Suppose you want to search result for Donald Trump. Then you can ask your Jarvis Donald Trump Wikipedia, otherwise who is Donald Trump. As you can see, our Wikipedia word and who word is trigger point for Wikipedia result. So it's going to return result from Wikipedia. Then query equal to query.replace function dot replace function. And I want to replace our Wikipedia keyword with blank. So I'm going to type Wikipedia, comma, and I want to replace this keyword with blank. And for results, I'm going to create a variable result equal to, and now I'm going to call a function from Wikipedia module, which is summary. So I'm going to type Wikipedia dot summary function. Inside the parenthesis dot summary function. Then inside the parenthesis, at first I'm going to pass query as an argument, and our second argument is sentences. It's mean how many sentences we want as a result from Wikipedia. So I'm going to type sentences. Sentences equal to 2. For now I want 2 sentences from Wikipedia result. But at first we need to import Wikipedia module in our page. So I'm going to type import Wikipedia. Then I back to the function, and next I'm going to call speak function once again. So I'm going to type speak, and inside this speak function I'm going to type according to Wikipedia. According to Wikipedia. Using this summary function we can extract result from Wikipedia, and I stored this result in this result variable. And next I'm going to print the result. Print results. So it's going to print the 2-sentence result from Wikipedia. And I also want to speak the result using Jarvis. So I'm going to call speak function once again. Speak inside the parenthesis result. So finally we successfully integrate our Wikipedia module in our Jarvis project. So it's time to run the code and see is it work properly or not. So let's run the code.
Good evening, Tony. Hello Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me how may I help you?
Who is Donald Trump?
Searching Wikipedia. According to Wikipedia, Donald John Trump, born June 14, 1946, is an American politician, media personality, and businessman who served as the 45th President of the United States from 2017 to 2021. Born and raised in Queens, New York City, Trump graduated from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania with a bachelor's degree in 1968.
So at first our Jarvis assistant listen our voice, then it recognizing our voice, and then it print the text what user said. As you know, I said who is Donald Trump, and as you know who is the trigger key of Wikipedia search. That's why when I use this word it going to return result from Wikipedia. and then our assistant print our result in our terminal and also speak our result. In our upcoming tutorial, I'm going to integrate live news update in our JARVIS project. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next project. Stay tuned for our next tutorial. Hello guys, good to see you back. This is the most important section of this project. In this part, we are going to integrate live news update in our project. So when we ask our JARVIS for live news update, then it's going to speak current news headline with their content. So let's see how it's work. So first, I'm going to create a else if condition. Elif news in query, then inside the elif condition, I'm going to run speak function. Speak inside the parenthesis news headline. Then query equal to query dot replace function, and I want to replace news keyword with blank. To get current news updates, we need to use API. For that, I'm going to use this website, newsapi.org. This website is free for developers. At first, you need to sign up to this account, and I don't going to cover the sign up process. It's very easy. If you do not log in this website, you cannot get the API key. That's why login is very important. Then go to the URL bar and type /sources. If I press enter, here you can see all the country list. So you can select your own country for news update. I am from India, so I'm going to select India. And here you can see this is my API key. And we need this API key for news update. So I'm going to copy the API key. And then I'm going to back to my Visual Studio Code editor. And I'm going to create a variable URL equal to, inside the double quotes, I'm going to paste my API key. We are getting data using API, that's why we need to use a module, which is request. So I'm going to import request module. Import request. And then I'm going to create a variable. And our variable name is news. News equal to request dot get. Using get function, we can get result from this request. And inside the get function, I'm going to pass URL as parameter. And then I'm going to convert this content into a text format, .text. As you know, most of the time, API send JSON data. And now we need to convert the JSON data into a Python object using json.load function. So news equal to json.load function. json.load function. And inside the parenthesis, news. So using JSON loads function, we convert JSON data into a Python object. But first, we need to import JSON module in our file. So I'm going to import JSON module. Now let's back to the news API website. Suppose this is our Python object. And we have three properties in this object: status, total result, and articles. And inside this article object, we have more objects. So at first, we need to access the article object. And then we need to run for in loop to access all the objects inside the article object. So for article object, I'm going to take a variable. And our variable name is art. Art equal to news, inside the square braces, our property name, articles. And if I show you the news website once again, as you can see, inside the article, we have a property named title. And also we have a property named description. Title means news headline. Description means news content. So I want to access the news headline with their content. For this, we need to use loop. Let me show you. So I'm going to use for loop. For article in art, inside the for loop, first I want to print article title. So I'm going to use print inside the parenthesis article, inside the square braces, title. And after print the article title, and I also want to speak the article title, so I want to use speak function for that. With article title, also I want to listen news description, so I'm going to duplicate these lines. At first, I'm going to print the description, and also I'm going to speak the description. So I'm going to copy the description keyword and I'm going to paste into this position. And also I'm going to run another speak function. Because after end one news, it's going to jump into the another news. And between two news, I want to speak moving on to the next news. Otherwise, we cannot understand where our news was over. So I'm going to type moving on to the next news. So finally, we integrate a news API in our JARVIS. So let's run the code and see is it work properly or not. So let's run the code.
Good evening, Tony. Hello, Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me how may I help you?
Today news.
News headlines. Indonesian researchers breed good mosquitoes to combat dengue, the Indian Express. The trial results showed that deploying mosquitoes with Wolbachia reduced dengue cases by as much as 77% and hospitalizations by up to 86%. Moving on to the next news. 6 rules every person with diabetes needs to follow this festive season, India.com. Follow these 6 rules to gain control over your sugar levels and stay healthy even with a diabetic condition this festive season. Moving on to the next news.
So as you can listen, it speak all the news one by one. I hope now this section is clear for you how we can use APIs and extract news from this API. So thanks for watching this video. In the next part of this video, we are going to open web browser using our voice command. You can search YouTube, you can search Google, etc. So please stay tuned. Hello guys, good to see you back. Once again I am in my Visual Studio Code Editor. In this section we are going to learn how can we search result from website using our voice command. Suppose I want to open google.com and then I'm going to command Jarvis open Google and then it's going to open my browser and redirect to google.com. So at first we need to import an inbuilt module which is web browser. So I'm going to import this module. Import web browser. It is the inbuilt module from Python. And then I'm going to create another elif condition. Else if open Google in query, then inside the elif condition, I'm going to call webbrowser.open function. Webbrowser.open. Then inside the parenthesis, inside the double quotes, we need to pass the domain name where we want to redirect. So I'm going to pass google.com. So let's save the file and run this code. Is it work properly or not? So I'm going to hit the run button.
Good evening, Tony. Hello, Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me how may I help you?
Open Google. As you can see, it opened my web browser and redirect to google.com. Similarly, following this method, you can open YouTube also. So I'm going to duplicate the elif condition and in our query section, I'm going to type else if open YouTube in query, then redirect to youtube.com. If I save this file and run the code one more time.
Good evening, Tony. Hello, Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me how may I help you?
Open YouTube. As you can see, it redirect to youtube.com. You can open any website using your voice command like Facebook, GitHub, Stack Overflow, etc. But if you want to search any query in your default search engine, for this we need to write some 2 more extra lines. Let me show you. So once again I'm duplicate this elif condition. Now I want to search result from our default search engine. For this I'm going to type search browser in query. Search browser. Then inside the elif condition I'm going to call speak function. So I'm going to type speak. Then inside the parenthesis, our Jarvis asks to the user, what should user search? So Jarvis is going to ask to the user, what should I search? So I'm going to type, what should I search? And then I'm going to take a variable which can take user command. So um equal to mean user command. I'm going to call take command function. Take command dot lower. Using lower function, we can convert the command into a lowercase. And then I'm going to search this user query in our browser. So once again I'm going to run browser.open function, web browser dot open. Inside the parenthesis I'm going to use f-string, and inside the curly braces I'm going to pass the user query, which is mean user command. So using this condition, first I'm going to command my Jarvis search browser. Then our program redirect to this elif condition, and then it run a speak function. What should I search? And then it run a take command function and take voice input from the user, and then it's going to search the query in our browser. So let's run the code and see is it work properly or not. So I'm going to click on this play button.
Good evening, Tony. Hello, Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me how may I help you?
Search browser.
What should I search?
Donald Trump. As you can see, after open my browser, it searched the query Donald Trump. So you can search any result from search engine using voice command. And now I want to search my IP address using voice command. So I'm going to duplicate this elif condition, and I'm going to search else if IP address in query, IP address in query. Then inside the elif condition I'm going to create a variable which is IP equal to request dot get. Inside the parenthesis I'm going to request to a website which can return my IP address, http://api.ipfi.org. And also I'm going to convert my request into a text format, .text. We need to pass another slash after HTTP. It's going to return my IP address in a text format. And then I want to print my IP address in my terminal. So I'm going to call print function. Print, inside the parenthesis I'm going to use f-string. Inside the double quotes, your IP is, inside the double quotes, IP. I'm going to call the IP variable. And also I'm going to duplicate this line and I'm going to call speak function. If I save this file and run my code,
Good evening, Tony. Hello, Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me how may I help you?
my IP address.
Your IP is 112.79.116.58.
So as you can see, we can open websites, we can search IP address, and also we can search query in search engine. So in the next part of this tutorial, we can open different type of application using different voice commands. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next tutorial. Hello guys, good to see you back. This is one of the most exciting part of this project. In this section, we are going to learn how can we open different computer application using voice command. So let's create the else if condition. Elif, first I want to open command prompt using voice command. So inside the single quotes, I'm going to type open command prompt. Open command prompt in query. Then inside the elif condition, to open any application or a file, we need to import OS module. So I'm going to import OS module. Import OS. And then I back to the elif condition and I'm going to type os.system. Inside the parenthesis, inside the double quotes, I'm going to type start cmd. As you know, command prompt is our system application. That's why we need to use os.system function. Let's execute the code and see is it work properly or not. So I'm going to hit the run button.
Good afternoon, Tony. Hello, Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me how may I help you?
Open command prompt. As you can see,
it opened Windows command prompt. But now I want to open Photoshop using voice command. For this, I'm going to create another ellipse condition. So I'm going to duplicate this line and I'm going to type else if open Photoshop in query. Then inside the ellipse condition, I'm going to create a variable which is code path. Code path equal to, inside the double quotes, we need to provide the file location. So I'm going to search Photoshop application in my search bar. Photoshop. Then I select the application and I'm going to right click on this application. Here you can see an option open file location and I'm going to click on this location. As you can see, it provides the file location, and then once again I'm going to press right click on it, and now I'm going to click on properties. Here you can see an option named target. We need to copy the target file path, so I'm going to press Ctrl C to copy the file path. Then back to the Visual Studio Code editor and I'm going to paste it inside the double quotes. And now I'm going to remove the extra quotation. If open Photoshop in our query, then our program going to trigger this path and it's going to open our Photoshop application. But we need to pass multiple backslash between this folder name, something like that. And then I'm going to call start file function from OS module, os.startFile. Inside the parenthesis, I'm going to pass this variable, code path. So let's execute the code and see is it properly work or not. So I'm going to hit the run button.
Good afternoon, Tony. Hello, Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me how may I help you?
Jarvis, please open Photoshop. As you can see, it's opened my Photoshop application. Using this method, we can open any application using our voice command. Following this similar method, I want to open Visual Studio Code Editor using voice command. So I'm going to duplicate this line once again and I'm going to type else if open code in query. Then once again I'm going back to my search bar and I'm going to type Visual Studio Code and then right click on it. And as you can see an option open file location, and then I click on it. Then I select the icon and right click on it once again, and then I'm goes to the properties. Here you can see option target and I'm going to copy the target location. And then I back to my Visual Studio Code Editor. And then I'm going to replace the code path location with this file location. And also we need to provide multiple backslash between these folder names, something like that. So let's execute the code and try to open a new Visual Studio Code window in my computer.
Good afternoon, Tony. Hello, Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me how may I help you?
Open code. As you can see, it opened a new Visual Studio window in my computer. So following this process, you can open any application using your voice command. So in the next part of this video, we are going to learn how can we play music using our voice command. And also we are going to learn how can we search any video from YouTube. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for next part of this tutorial. Good to see you back, guys. Once again I am in my Visual Studio Code Editor. In this tutorial we are going to play music using our voice command. Not only that, we are also going to play YouTube video using our voice command. Suppose I want to watch Believer song in YouTube. In that case, we need to command our Jarvis to play this song. And it's going to open my browser and redirect to youtube.com and play this song. So let's create our first function. So let's create our first condition to play MP3 music. As you can see in my current working directory, there is a folder named music. And inside the music folder, we have total 3 MP3 songs. So I'm going to use these songs for this example. So first, I'm going to create the elif condition. Elif play music in query. Then inside the elif condition, first we need to create a variable to store file path. So our variable name is music directory. Music underscore dir equal to, inside the single quotes, I'm going to provide the directory.
I already copied the file path and I'm going to paste it here. And also need to provide multiple backslash between folder names. And now I'm going to convert all the songs in a Python list. So I'm going to create a variable songs equal to os dot listdir inside the parenthesis. In this function we need to provide the file path as a parameter, list music dir. So I'm going to copy this variable music directory and paste it here. All the items in this directory, these are now Python list items. And now I want to print the songs in my terminal, so I'm going to use print function. Print inside the parenthesis song. And now we need to use os.startFile function to play the song. So I'm going to type os.startFile inside the parenthesis os.path.join. Inside the join function we need to pass two parameters, our file path and the list item. Our file path variable name is music directory, music dir, comma, and I want to play our first song from the list. So songs inside the square braces I'm going to pass 0. It's going to play the first song from the list. So let's execute the code and see is it work properly or not. So I'm going to hit the run button.
Good evening, Tony. Hello, Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me how may I help you?
Play music. As you can see, it's play our music. You can play any particular music, otherwise you can use random function to play any music from this list. Otherwise, you can ask your AI which music you want to play. So in our upcoming video, I'm going to modify this play music condition. And now I want to play video in YouTube using voice command. So for that, I'm going to create another elif condition. Elif play YouTube command in query. Then inside the elif condition, to play YouTube video, you need to install a module, which is Pyaudio. This module is very easy to operate. So let's open the Windows PowerShell and try to download it. So as you can see, I am in my Windows PowerShell. And now I'm going to install Pyaudio module. Pip install Pyaudio. And then I'm going to press enter. As you can see, requirement already satisfied, because I already downloaded it, but you need to complete your download process. Then I back to my Visual Studio Code editor and I'm going to import this module in this file. Import Pyaudio as kit. Then I back to the elif condition, and at first I'm going to call the speak function. Speak inside the parenthesis, I'm going to type what should I search in YouTube. So I'm going to type what I search in YouTube and question mark. So when I command play YouTube, our Jarvis is going to ask what should I search in YouTube, and then our Jarvis is going to take voice user input. For this I'm going to create a variable cm command equal to take command function. Inside the parenthesis dot lower. Using dot lower function, we can convert our text into a lowercase. Then we need to call a function from Pyaudio module, which is play on yt. So I'm going to type kit dot play on yt. Inside the parenthesis, I'm going to use f string. Inside the double quotes and inside the curly braces, I'm going to pass cm. Pyaudio module is pretty powerful and it's pretty advanced also. And now I want to play Believer song in YouTube. So let's execute the code and see is it work properly or not.
Good evening, Tony. Hello, Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me how may I help you?
Play YouTube.
What should I search in YouTube?
Believer song. As you can see, it's open my browser. And as you can see, it's play the Believer song in YouTube. So, step by step, we made our Jarvis very powerful. In our upcoming video, we are going to send WhatsApp message using Jarvis. And also we are going to send email using Jarvis. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next part of this tutorial. Good to see you back, guys. In this section we are going to send WhatsApp message and email using our voice command. So without wasting your time, let's start it. At first I'm going to send WhatsApp message using voice command. So I'm going to create another elif condition. Elif send message in query. Then inside the elif condition, first I'm going to call speak function. Speak, inside the parenthesis, inside the double quotes, I'm going to type who do you want to send the message. So I'm going to type who message, and then I'm going to take a variable to save this number, and our variable name is num equal to input, inside the parenthesis enter number, and then \n for new line. Then once again I'm going to call the speak function. Speak, inside the parenthesis I'm going to type, now Jarvis is going to ask to the user what do you want to send. So I'm going to type what want to send, and then again I'm going to create another variable message msg equal to, I'm going to call the take command dot lower function, take command dot lower, and then I'm going to call a function from Pyaudio module, and our function name is send what message. So I'm going to type kit dot send what message, inside the parenthesis as a first parameter we need to pass sender number, so I'm going to pass num variable, comma, as a second parameter we need to pass the message, so I'm going to pass msg. Total we need to pass 4 parameter, sender number, message, hour and minute. So after msg variable I'm going to call speak function once again. Speak, inside the parenthesis I'm going to type please enter time sir. First we need to create variable for hour, so I'm going to type capital H equal to int function. Int, inside the int function I'm going to call input. I don't want this time in a string format, I want this time in a number format, that's why I use int function. So inside the double quotes I'm going to type enter hour and \n for new line, and then I'm going to duplicate this line, and for minute I'm going to take m variable and I'm going to type enter minutes. So as a third parameter I'm going to send hour, and as a second parameter I'm going to send minute, and then I'm going to save this file. But before you run this code you should have login in web.whatsapp.com, otherwise it's not going to work. So let's execute the code and see is it work properly or not. But before I run this code, let's take an overview of the elif condition. After send message voice query, it's redirect to this elif condition. Then our Jarvis is going to ask who do you want to send the message. Then we need to enter the sender number, and then our Jarvis is going to ask what do you want to send. Then we need to speak our message, and also it asks for time when you want to send the message. First you need to enter hour and then you need to enter minutes, and then I call send what message from Pyaudio module, and here we pass 4 parameter in this module: number, message, hour and minute, and kit is the alias name of Pyaudio module. So let's execute the code.
Good evening, Tony. Hello Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me how may I help you?
Send message.
Who do you want to send a message?
And now we need to type the sender number. First we need to type country code. I'm from India, so I'm going to pass +91, and then we need to pass the mobile number, and then I'm going to press enter.
What do you want to send?
Hello Tony.
Please enter time, sir.
As you can see, our current time is 18:55. So I'm going to pass 18 hour 57 minute. After 2 minutes, I'm going to send the message. Now we need to wait for 60 seconds. As you can see, in 60 seconds, web.whatsapp.com will be open. After 20 seconds, message will be delivered. So let's wait while.
So I'm going to first forward it. As you can see, it's open our browser and redirect to web.whatsapp.com. And also you can see it already type our message, hello tune. Maybe it not listen Tony carefully. That's why it type hello tune. After 20 seconds, it's going to send the message. As you can see, it send our message, hello tune. So now it's clear for you how we can send WhatsApp message using our voice command by the help of PyHotKit module. In the next part of this video, I'm going to send email using our voice command. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next video. Hello guys, good to see you back. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how can we send email using voice command. You can send email anyone. So at first, I'm going to import a module which is SMTP lib. And here I'm going to type pip install secure-smtp lib, and then I'm going to press enter. As you can see, it's written requirement already satisfied because I already downloaded it, but you need to complete your download process. And then I back to the Visual Studio Code editor. So at first we need to import this module in this file. Import smtp lib. And then I'm going to create the elif condition. Else if send email inquiry, then inside the elif condition, at first I'm going to call the speak function. Speak, inside the parenthesis, I'm going to type our Jarvis is going to ask, what should I send, sir? What? Send, sir. Send, sir. And then I'm going to take voice user input from the user. For this, I'm going to create a variable, and our variable name is content. Content equal to take command function. Take command dot lower. Then once again, I'm going to call the speak function. Speak, inside the parenthesis, inside the double quotes, our Jarvis is going to ask whom to send the email. Email. Enter email address, sir. Sir. And then we need to take email address from the user. For this, I'm going to create another variable 2. 2 equal to input. Inside the parenthesis, I'm going to type enter email address and \n for new line. And then I'm going to call a function, and our function name is send email. And inside this function, I'm going to pass two parameters. Our first parameter is 2, and our second parameter is content. This function going to send our email. But before, we need to create this function. But first, I want to show you something. We are going to send email using our Gmail address. And you know, Gmail is very secure. We need to make our Gmail less secure. So, you need to open your browser. Then, go to Manage Your Account section. Here you can see an option Security. And then, you need to turn on this feature. Less secure apps. You need to turn on this feature. Otherwise, it's not going to work. As you can see, I already on my less secure apps option. Similarly, you need to turn on this option. So let's back to the Visual Studio Code editor and create the function. So I'm going to type def, and our function name is send mail. And inside the parenthesis, I'm going to pass two parameters, 2 and content. Then inside the send mail function, at first we need to create a variable named server. Server equal to, I'm going to call smtp.lib.smtp function. Let me show you. .smtp. Then inside the parenthesis, in our first parameter, we need to pass the service provider domain, which is smtp.gmail.com. And next, we need to pass the port number, which is 587. And then we need to call ehlo function, server.ehlo. These functions are already defined in SMTP lib module. And you can see these steps in documentation of this module. So I don't do anything special. I just follow their step. Then we need to call server.startTLS function. Server.startTLS function. Next, we need to call server.login function. Server.login. Inside the parentheses, this login function used for authentication. And here we need to pass two parameters. First, we need to pass our Gmail address, your Gmail address. And second, inside the double quotes, you need to pass your Gmail password, your password. So you need to type your Gmail address here and you need to type your password here. And next, we need to call the sendMail function from SMTP lib module. So I'm going to type server.sendMail. Inside the parentheses, here we need to pass two parameters. In our first parameter, we need to paste our Gmail address. So I'm going to copy this text and paste it here once again. Next we need to pass sender email address, which we get from the user. So I'm going to pass 2 here. And next we need to pass the email content, which our function get from the user as a parameter. So I'm going to pass content here. And then we need to run close function to close the connection. So I'm going to type server.close. So at first you need to establish connection to your Gmail address using this domain. Then you need to pass the port. This is the default port by Gmail that can use anyone. Then you need to call these two functions. These are necessary. And if you want to read this SMTP lib documentation, you can. And then you need to log in your Gmail account. So at first you need to pass your Gmail address, then you need to pass your password. And next you need to call the sendMail function to send the email. Once again you need to pass your Gmail address and then you need to pass these two parameters which you get from the user. Our first parameter is 2, means sender email, and then our next parameter is content. It's mean what I want to send. And then you need to close your connection using .close function. And now I'm going to fill this place with my Gmail and my password. So I put my Gmail and my password in this function. So let's back to the elif condition. So when we trigger this condition using sendMail command, first our JARVIS is going to ask, what should I send, sir? And then we need to speak our email content. And our text command function going to convert this voice into a text. And next our JARVIS is going to ask whom to send the mail. Enter email address, sir. And then we need to type the email address who we want to send. And I'm going to set this email address in 2 variables. And next I'm going to call the sendMail function. And inside the sendMail function, we need to pass 2 parameters. Our first parameter is 2 and our second parameter is email content. So let's execute the code and see is it work properly or not.
Good morning, Tony. Hello, Tony, I am Jarvis. Please tell me how may I help you?
Send email.
What should I send, sir?
Hello world. Welcome to my world.
Whom to send the email? Enter email address, sir.
Now we need to pass the email address. So I want to pass my another email address. And then I'm going to press enter. If I show you my inbox, as you can see, there is a new email from my another email address. If I open this email, here you can see the content. Hello world, welcome to my world. So our JARVIS is enough capable to send email anyone. So I hope now it's clear for you how can we send email using our voice command. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next tutorial.
Hello guys, good to see you back. Once again I'm back with new project related Python. And in this project we are going to learn how we can extract real-time COVID-19 data without using any API. And already you can see the demonstration in my terminal. Here you can see it print country name, their cases, total death and the continent name. It is the exact real-time data. And also you can see in my screen, side by side I open my terminal and my browser. And you can match both the data. Using the help of web scraping technique, you can do lot of crazy things. So without wasting your time, let's start the practical. As you can see, I am in my browser and I open a website named worldmeter.info/coronavirus. I know you are already familiar with this website. This website provides current COVID-19 data around the world. You can see a table with multiple columns: country, total case, new case, total death, new date, total recovery, etc. And this table is sorted by highest number of cases. USA, India, France, Germany, Brazil. These are the most top countries which are affected by COVID-19 most. As I told you, we are not going to use any API to get the current data. So we are going to extract the data from this website, especially from this table. We are going to use web scraping method to get the data. For that, we are going to use Beautiful Soup module. So for now, let's jump into the Visual Studio Code editor. So as you can see, I am in my current working directory. At first, I am going to create a Python file and our file name is main.py. At first, we need to import some useful modules. At first, we need to import an inbuilt module named request. Import request. We don't need to install this module. It's an inbuilt module from Python. This request module allows you to send HTTPS request using Python. And now we need to install a most important module, which is Beautiful Soup. So I'm going to open my Windows PowerShell. And here I'm going to type pip install Beautiful Soup 4. Then we need to press enter. After press enter, as you can see, requirement already satisfied because I already downloaded this module. But you need to complete your download process. And now we need to import this module in this file. So I'm going to type from bs4 import Beautiful Soup. And now we need to install another module to print the data in a table format in our terminal. So again, I'm going to open Windows PowerShell. Our module name is pretty table. So I'm going to type pip install pretty table. If I press enter, as you can see, requirement already satisfied because I already downloaded this. But as I told you, you need to complete your download process. And we need to import this module in our file. So I'm going to type from pretty table import pretty table. P and T is capital. And now we need the exact URL from where we are going to scrap the data. So here I'm going to type a single line comment URL for scraping data. And I'm going to create a variable which is URL. URL equal to, inside this single quotes, here we need to pass the exact URL. So let's back to the browser. So as you can see, again I am back to my browser. And here I open particular countries where COVID-19 has spread. This is the most filtered table I found in this website. This table comes with only 4 columns: country, cases, death and region. So I decide to scrap this table. So I copy this URL and back to my Visual Studio Code. And I'm going to paste this URL inside the single quotes. And now we need to get the HTML from this URL. So at first I'm going to create a variable. And our variable name is page data. Page underscore data. Equal to, here I'm going to use request.get function. Request.get function to access this link. And here I'm going to pass URL. As you know, using request.get function, we can access this link. And also we can grab the HTML data. Now, after get the data, we need to convert this data into a text. For that, we need to use a function from Beautiful Soup. So I'm going to create a variable named soup. Soup equal to Beautiful Soup, and inside this round braces, here I'm going to pass the page data. Page data. And as I told you, we need to convert this data into a text format. So I'm going to call dot text. In the next parameter, we need to pass HTML parser. Inside this single quote, here I'm going to pass HTML dot parser. Now the question is, what the hell is that? What is HTML parser? And why should we use HTML parser? The HTML parser is a structured markup processing tool. It defines a class called HTML parser, which is used to parse HTML files. And basically, it is used for web crawling. Now, let's print this variable in my terminal and see is it work perfectly or not. So here I'm going to type print. Inside the round braces, I'm going to pass the variable name, which is soup. If I save this file and run this code, as you can see in my terminal, it returns all the HTML data from this page. And it returns a text formatted data. If I scroll up this data little bit, as you can see, there are lots of tr tag and td tag in this page. And if you're familiar with HTML, then you know tr stands for table row and td stands for table data. If I show you my browser again, as you can see in this table, we have country column, case column, date column and reason column. And as you can see, every single row holds some different data. So we need to grab every row from this table. And then we need to print this row in our terminal. So let's back to the Visual Studio Code Editor. For better understand, right click on your browser and click on Inspect section. And here you can see an option name Elements. After select this icon, if you hover your cursor on any row, now you can see the similar type of text formatted data as like our terminal. Basically, you can see the exact same data in our terminal. These are all different table rows and we have lot of table row in this table. So we need to grab every table row. Rows are defined with tr tag and columns are defined with td tag. If I hover my cursor in the first table row, as you can see it highlighted United States. If I open this table row, now you can see our first table data saved the country name, United States. Our second table data saved the total number of cases. And our third table data saved the total death. And our last table data saved the continent name. So we need to grab the exact data from this table column. We need this data. So let's back to the Visual Studio Code Editor and see how we can do it. For now, I'm going to close my terminal and comment out this print statement. So at first, we need to target all the td tags. So I'm going to create a variable and our variable name is data. Data equal to a empty list. And then I'm going to type a single line comment, find all the td tags. And I'm going to create another variable. Table data underscore td underscore data equal to iter function. So here I'm going to type iter. Now the question is, what is the usage of iter function? The iter function creates an object which can be iterated one element at a time. This function is very useful when we work with loops like for loop, while loop, etc. And now I'm going to call some function from beautiful soup module. So I'm going to type soup dot find all function, find all. Then inside the round braces, I want to find all the td tags. So I'm going to pass td. This variable going to store a object of td data. If I print this variable, print inside the round braces td underscore data. If I run this code in my terminal, as you can see, it is an object and you can see the object location. And now we need to extract the data from the td object. So I create a comment, data available in td data. Also, I'm going to comment out this print statement. And now to extract the data from this object, we need to use while loop. While true, then inside this while loop, I'm going to use try except condition. Try, inside this try block, at first I want to extract all the country names from the table. So I'm going to create a variable named country. Country equal to, here I'm going to use next function, next. Then inside the round braces, this function going to target the next table data from the td object. So we need to pass the object name here, td underscore data. And from this country column, I want to extract the text. So I'm going to type dot text. Then I'm going to duplicate this line total 3 times. So at the next line, I want to extract the confirmed cases. So I'm going to type confirmed. Then I want to extract the dates. So here I'm going to type dates. And also I want to print the continent name from this row. So I'm going to type continent here. And now after extract the data, we need to add this data in our empty list. And our list name is data. For that, we need to use append function. So I'm going to type data dot append function. Inside the round braces, here we need to add the list variables. Our first variable name is country. So I copy the country and paste it here. Comma, our second variable name is confirmed. So I copy the variable name and paste it here. Comma, our third variable name is date and I paste it here. And our last variable name is continent. I copy the variable name and paste it here. Now also we need to handle the except block. So here I'm going to type except stop iteration. Stop iteration. Inside this except block, break. If our try condition is not work perfectly, then it's going to call the break function. Then it's going to jump into the except and stop our iteration and call the break method. And it break the loop. Now let's print the data variable in our terminal. So here I'm going to type print inside the round braces data. After save this file, if I run this code, as you can see in my terminal, it provides all the data. As you can see inside the round braces, first it print country name, then total case, total date and the continent name. So this is the data that we got from this table. But in our terminal, it's not look so pretty. We need to print the data in a table format. For that, we need to use pretty table module. And we already download this module. Also, we already import this module in this file, which is pretty table. So I'm going to comment out this line and then I'm going to create a variable. And our variable name is my table. My table. My table equal to, I'm going to call a function name from the pretty table. Pretty table. And inside the round braces, here you can pass the column names, how many column you want. And I want to print the exact column as like our website. So inside the double quotes, first I'm going to pass country. Then inside the double quotes, I'm going to pass cases. First it's going to print the country name, then it's going to print the cases. Next, I'm going to pass dates. At last, I'm going to add continent column, continent. Here I create the table column name according to the list data, country, confirmed case, date and continent. Then we need to run a loop to add the row in this table. For that, I'm going to use for loop. For I in data, then inside the for loop, my table dot add row function from our table, add row inside the round braces I. This is it. So every iteration of this data list, it's going to add new row in this table. So I'm going to print this table in my terminal. Print my table. Let's save the file and run this code in my terminal. After press run button, as you can see in my terminal, here you can see it print our data in a table format. It print all the country names, total case, date and continent names as like our browser. So without using any API, we can successfully get COVID-19 data. And here we use little web scraping technique to grab the data. You can use this data anywhere in your website, otherwise any application. So this is the power of web scraping. So this is it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next project. In this exercise, you need to create a text utility program using Python. Let's see some demonstration. So I am back to my Visual Studio Code editor, and you can see I opened a Python file. Also you can see there are two files in my directory, main.py and text.txt. And if I open text.txt file, you can see some demo text. Then back to main.py file and I run the code. You can see in my terminal, first it asks enter file name, and I'm going to provide our text.txt file. And then it shows bunch of options. Enter Q to quit, enter R to read text, enter C to count word. I want to read our text inside of my text.txt file, so I press R. You can see in my terminal it print our text content, similar as in my text.txt file. And once again it shows us our options. But now I want to count our word in our text.txt file, so I type capital C. You can see total number of words is 32. So you can count word. And now I want to remove new lines from our sentences. So I type capital RN, means remove new line. You can see in my terminal it print our content in a one line. And now I want to view our all sentences in a capital letter. So I type capital FC. And you can see in my terminal it convert our sentences in a capital letter. And then I want to view our total length of row. So I type capital FL. You can see in my terminal total length of row is 4. And also you can see in my text.txt file there are 4 lines. And now I want to see which is the longest word in our text file. So I type LW. And you can see the longest word is literature. Then I want to add a new line in our text.txt file. So I type capital A. Enter your text. And I'm going to type Python is best. Then I hit enter. And you can see in my text.txt file it add Python is best in our last line. I hope you understand our problem statement. Basically, you need to create a normal text utility program. You can try your own way, otherwise you can follow my solution. I hope you will enjoy it. See you at solution part. So finally we are in my Visual Studio Code editor, and without wasting your time, here I'm going to create a Python file main.py. And to create text utility project we need to import a module, and our module name is OS. Import OS. It is a inbuilt module in Python. OS module can give you the access of working directory. And then I'm going to create a txt file in my current working directory. And our file name is text.txt. Text.txt. For now it's a blank file. Now let's back to the main.py file. And I'm going to create a variable that can take input from the user. And our variable name is text file. Text underscore file equal to, and here we are going to use input function. Input, inside the round braces I'm going to type enter file name. Then \n for new line. Basically we are going to collect the file name from the user. And now we need to check the file name we passed that is exist in our current working directory or not. For that we are going to use if condition. If, and I'm going to call OS function. OS dot path dot and I'm going to call exist function. Exist, and inside the round braces, I'm going to pass the variable name, text file. So I copy the name and paste it here. Then inside this if condition, I want to print file is exist. So if the user input file is exist in our current working directory, then it print file is exist. And also we need to handle the else part. So I'm going to type else, inside the else condition, print file not found. So let's run the code in the terminal and see is it work properly or not. So after run this code, at first it asks enter file name, and I'm going to type the file name text.txt. Text.txt. After press enter, it's print file not found. I think I did some mistake. Oops, I did silly mistake. Here you can see I type wrong spelling for text. So I'm going to rename this file name TE, not A. And I'm going to press enter. Let's run the code again. Enter file name text.txt. After press enter, as you can see it print file is exist. And as you can see, if the file is not exist in our current working directory, in that case it's going to print this line, file not found. So that's why we use the OS module. So if the file is exist, then inside the if condition, I want to run a while loop. So I comment out this statement and I'm going to type while true. Then inside the while loop, I want to take query from the user. So I create a variable named query equal to, and I'm going to call input function, input. Then inside the round braces, inside the double quotes, here I'm going to create our menu section. And using this menu section, user can control the application. At first, I'm going to add \n for new line. And I'm going to type enter Q to quit. Then again, I'm going to use \n for another line. If user want to quit the program, in that case, user need to press capital Q. And if user want to read the text, in that case, user need to press capital R. Then again, I'm going to use \n. And if you want to count all the word in your text, in that case, you need to press capital C. Enter capital C to count word. Then again, \n for new line. And if user want to remove new line from the text, in that case, user need to press Rn, capital Rn. Enter Rn to remove new line. \n for new line. Our next menu option is, if user want to view all the characters in capital, in that case, user need to press capital FC. Enter FC to view full capital. Then again, \n for new line. And if user want to see the total length of row, means file length, in that case, user need to press TL. Enter TL to view file length. Then \n for new line again. Our next menu option is, if user want to find the longest word from the text, in that case, they need to press LW. Enter LW to view longest word. Then comes our last menu option. So I'm going to type \n again. If user want to add new line to the existing content, in that case, they need to press capital A. Enter capital A to add new line. So that was the menu option that user going to control the whole application. So I'm going to save this file. So let's run the code and see is our menu option looks properly or not. So after press run button, first it asks enter file name, and the file name is text.txt. After press enter, here you can see some option. Enter Q to quit. Enter R to read text. Enter capital C to count word. Enter Rn to remove new line. Enter FC to view in full capital. Enter TL to view file length. Enter LW to view longest word. Enter A to add new line. So from this input section, user can operate this application. For now, I'm going to delete this terminal. Now, one by one, we need to create conditions for these menu options. So inside this if condition, I'm going to use another if condition. If inside the round braces query equal to inside the double quotes capital Q, then inside this if condition I want to quit the program, means I want to break the loop. For that I'm going to type break. That's it. Then in our elif condition, one by one we need to handle the menu options. Else if inside the round braces query equal to capital C, then inside the elif condition I want to call a function. But before I call the function, here I'm going to pass a print statement. Print inside the round braces, and I'm going to use f string. I hope you are already familiar with f string. I'm not going to explain it here. Total number of words inside the curly braces. Here we need to pass a function which can count total word from the text. So here I'm going to create a comment, name functions, and our first function name is that can count the words is count word. So we'll type def count word underscore word. Inside the round brackets it's take only one argument, and the argument name is file path. And for now in this function I'm going to type pass. This is the first part of this tutorial, and in this part I'm going to create only function names, and I'm going to call this function count words. So inside the curly braces I'm going to pass count words, and as I told you we need to pass a parameter, and as argument here I'm going to pass text file. Similarly I'm going to create condition for read text. So I'm going to select this one and duplicate it, and I'm going to replace capital C with capital R, and inside this print statement I'm going to call a function named read text. So I'm going to remove the f string and I'm going to call a function named read text, and inside the round braces and as argument I'm going to pass text file. Now we need to create the function. So in our print statement we call the function. Also we need to create the function. So I copy the function name read text, and I am going to duplicate this function count word. Then I am going to replace count word with read text function. And now I want to create condition for this option, remove new line. So again I am going to duplicate this elif condition, and here I am going to pass capital RN, remove new line, and I am going to call this function remove new line. Also we need to create the function. So back to the function section, and I'm going to duplicate one function and replace read text with new line. And as argument also we need to pass the file path. And in the next elif condition I'm going to create condition for another menu option. Enter FC to view capital. So here I need to pass capital FC. And for full capital we need to call a function, and our function name is full cap. Also we need to create the same function. So I duplicate this section and I'm going to replace remove new line with full cap, and inside the parentheses we need to pass file path parameter. Then again I'm going to duplicate this section, and here I'm going to set condition for enter TL to view file length. So I'm going to pass capital TL, and then inside this print statement I'm going to use f string. Inside the double quotes I'm going to type total length of row is. Then inside the curly braces I'm going to call a function, and the function name is file length, file underscore length, and inside the parentheses we need to pass argument, and I want to pass text file as argument. And also we need to create the file length function. So I copy the function name, and here I'm going to duplicate this function, and I'm going to replace full cap with file length. Similarly, we need to create condition for longest word, LW. So again, I'm going to duplicate this section. And I'm going to type query equal to LW means longest word. Then inside the print statement, I'm going to type the longest word is, and here I'm going to call another function, and our function name is longest word underscore word. Also, we need to create the function. So I copy the function name and back to the function section, and I'm going to duplicate this one, and I'm going to replace file length with longest word. Our last menu option is enter capital A to add new line. For that, again, I'm going to create a ellipse condition. Else if query equal to capital A, in that case, in my print statement, I'm going to call a function, and our function name is add new line. Add line. Then inside the round braces, we need to pass text file as argument. Also, we need to create the function. So I copy the function name and back to the function section and duplicate one of the function. And I'm going to replace longest word with add new line. Next, in the else section, I'm going to type else. In the else portion, print inside the round braces, you enter wrong input. So by mistake, if user type any wrong character, in that case, it's going to print the else part. You enter wrong input. So this is it for this part. In the next part of this tutorial, I'm going to create all the function one by one. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next part. Hello friends, nice to see you back. This is the second part of this project, and in this video we are going to create the functions. As you can see, our first ellipse condition, we call a function named countWords. For that, we need to pass capital C. So let's create the function. So I'm going back to the countWord function, and here I'm going to remove pass. As you know, as argument here we pass file path. So we need to open the file, and to open the file we need to create a file pointer. So let's create a file pointer, and I'm going to type with open. Here I'm going to use open function to open the file. Open, inside the parentheses we need to pass the file path. File path. Then I want to open this file as if. Then inside it I want to read the data. So I'm going to create a variable named data. Data equal to f dot read function. And now we can read all the data from the text.txt file. For now, we don't have any text in our text.txt file. So in this text file, text.txt, I'm going to add some dummy data, and I'm going to save this file. If you see in this paragraph, every word is separated by space and comma. Suppose if there is no space between these two words, but it is separated by comma, in that case, we need to convert this comma into a space. So I'm going to save this file and back to the main.py file. And here we need to run replace function. Data dot replace. And inside the round braces, I want to replace comma with blank. I want to replace comma sign with space. It means it's going to replace this comma with space. And now we need to count all the words from the paragraph. For that, we need to run len function. So here I'm going to type return. I'm going to run len function. Inside the parentheses, this function going to return the word length. For that, we need to split the word. And how we can split the word? we are going to split the word using space. So I'm going to type data dot split function. Then inside the parentheses, inside the double quotes, I'm going to provide space. Now let's save the file and run this code in my terminal and see is it work properly or not. So after hit run button, as you can see in my terminal, first it asks enter file name. So I'm going to pass the file name and our file name is text.txt. After press enter, it provides some option. Enter Q to quit, enter R to read text, enter C to count word. For now I'm going to press capital C because I want to count the words. So after press capital C, I'm going to press enter. After press enter, as you can see, it's written total number of word is 99. It's mean we have total 99 word in this paragraph. Now let's create the function for read text. So here I'm going to enter capital Q to quit the program. After press capital Q, as you can see, it break the loop and quit the program. So in this function, I'm going to create a variable which can open the file in read mode. File 1 equal to open function. Open inside the parentheses, I want to open file path. And I want to open this file in R mode. So inside the double quotes, I'm going to pass R. And now I'm going to print this file pointer. So here I'm going to type print inside the round braces file1 dot read function, read. And as you know, if we open a file, we need to close the file. So I'm going to call file1 dot close function. And I'm going to save this file. So let's run the code in our terminal. So after hit run button, as you can see, first we need to pass the file name. And our file name is text.txt. After hit enter, it shows some option. And this time I want to read the text. So I'm going to pass capital R. After press capital R, if I press enter, as you can see in my terminal, here you can see it written the paragraph from our text.txt file. So we successfully read our file data. Now I'm going to quit the program. So I'm going to press capital Q. After press capital Q, it's break the loop and exit our program. Now let's create another function which is remove new line. At first, inside the remove line function, I'm going to create a variable. And our variable name is file list. So I'm going to use short form flist. Flist equal to open function. I'm going to call open function. Open. And inside the round braces, and I want to open the file path which is provided by the user. So I copy the variable name and I'm going to paste it here. And here I'm going to use readLine function. Read lines. ReadLine method return all lines in a file as a list where each line is an item in the list object. Now every line of this paragraph become list item. Then return inside the square braces. Here I'm going to call restrict function. s.restrict function. Using this function, we can remove any character which I want. And I want to remove \n. And as you know, \n stands for new line character. And then I'm going to use one liner. And here I'm going to use a for loop. For s in flist. S stands for every item in flist. And as you know, flist variable type is list because here we save all the line as a list items. So from the list item, I want to remove new line characters. If I save this file and run this code, it's going to return all the line in a single line. And every line is separated by comma. Let me show you. So before I run this code, let's back to the text.txt file. And here you can see, here we have only one line. So I'm going to add some new line after full stop. So here I'm going to add a new line. Also I'm going to add a new line at that position. And I'm going to save this file. So in this content, we have total 6 new line. So let's back to the main.py file and run this code. After run this code, we need to pass the file name text.txt. And then I hit enter. And this time I want to remove new line. So I'm going to press capital RN. After I press enter, as you can see, it removes all the new lines. And all the lines are separated by comma as list item. Now let's create function for fc, full capital. So here first we need to declare a variable and open the file using readline function. So I'm going to use the same line. So I copy this line and I'm going to paste it. And again we need to use one-liner to convert the character into a uppercase. For that I'm going to type return. Inside the square braces I'm going to declare a variable s dot uppercase function, s dot upper. Then here I'm going to type for s in f list. Using upper function we can convert every line into uppercase. So let's save the file and run this code. First we need to provide the file name text.txt. And this time I'm going to pass fc, mean full capital. After press enter, as you can see, here you can see it convert our text into uppercase. Now let's create function for total length TL, and our function name is file length. At first we need to create a file pointer with open as if, and inside the open function here we need to pass the file path. Then inside this condition, here I'm going to use enumerate function which can return index number and the value, and we need to use enumerate function with for loop. For first I'm going to declare two variables. I stands for index number, comma L stands for value in enumerate, and inside the round braces we need to pass the file pointer name which is f. Then inside the enumerate function I'm going to type pass. I don't want to do anything in our for loop. I just want to return the index number. Then return I. And as you know, our index number start with 0. That's why we need to increment it in every iteration. So I'm going to type I plus 1. So let's save the file and run this code in our terminal. Basically this function going to return the line number of this text. As you can see, here we have total 6 lines. So I'm going to save this file, and if I run this code in my terminal, first we need to provide the file name, and the file name is text.txt. After press enter, I'm going to press TL to view file length, TL, total length. As you can see, total length of row is 6. So we have total 6 lines in this paragraph. So this is how we can count lines, otherwise row, in paragraph. Now let's create function for find longest word. So inside this function I'm going to type with open, inside the round braces I'm going to pass file path, and I want to open this file as R mode, means read mode, and our file pointer name is x as x. So inside this condition, here I'm going to create a variable, and our variable name is word equal to x dot, here I'm going to call read function, read, and also here I'm going to call split function, split. So after read every word, I split the word, and now we need to extract the max length of every word. So I'm going to create a variable max underscore len equal to, here I'm going to call len function. Then inside the round braces I'm going to call max function. I want to get the value of maximum. Then inside the round braces, first we need to use the variable, and the variable where I store my words is word, comma, and also in our second parameter we need to pass the key equal to len. It is the more Pythonic way of getting the length of the longest word. And now I'm going to return, and here I'm going to use a one-liner. Word for word in words. And then here I'm going to use a if condition. If, and I'm going to run len function. Len inside the round braces word equal to max len. Max len. It's mean every word in word variable list. Oops, I did a silly mistake. We need to make it words. It's a list. So here I also need to pass max words. So using for loop, here I target every word in word list variable. Then here I set a if condition. If word length equal to max length, then return the word. So let's save the file and run this code. After run this code, first we need to pass the file name txt. And then I want to see the longest word from our text. So I want to pass capital LW. After press LW, as you can see, the longest word is necessitubus. And if I show you my text file, here you can see the word necessitubus. So this is how we can extract longest word from our paragraph. Now let's talk about our last menu option, which is A. Enter A to add new line. So let's back to the main.py file, and I'm going to kill our terminal. And here we need to create a function that can add new line at our existing paragraph. So at add new line function, first I'm going to take user input. So first I'm going to create a variable, and our variable name is text. Text equal to input. Then inside the round braces, inside the double quotes, I'm going to type enter your text and \n for new line. And after user input, I'm going to open the file. So I'm going to create a variable, and our variable name is file1. File1 equal to, here I'm going to use open function. Open. And inside the open function, I'm going to open the file path. With that, I want to open the file in append mode. So inside the double quotes, I'm going to pass A. So after open the file, we need to write the text in this file. So I'm going to type file1 dot write function. Then inside the round braces, here I'm going to use fstring. Fstring inside the double quotes, inside the curly braces, I'm going to call text and \n for new line. And as you know, if we open any file, we need to close it. So I'm going to type file1 dot close function, and I'm going to save this one. So let's save the file and run this code in our terminal. First we need to pass the file name, and our file name is text.txt. Then I want to add a new line in our content. So I'm going to pass capital A. Then it asks enter your text, and here I'm going to enter hello world. After press enter, again it shows the menu option. But if I check text.txt file, now you can see at the end it add new content hello world. Similarly, if you want to add new content in this paragraph, yes you can. Again, you need to press capital A. Then it asks enter your text, and here I'm going to type Python is best, and I'm going to press enter. After press enter, as you can see in my text.txt file, it add Python is best. So without replacing our old content, it add new content with the existing data, and it add the text end of the lines. And if you want to read the text in your terminal, then just press capital R, and you can see the result. So this is it for this tutorial. In our next tutorial, we are going to cover another project. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next project. I hope you enjoyed this project. Hey, nice to see you back. And once again I am back with new exciting exercise. It's not an exercise, it's a mini project. In this mini project, we're gonna learn how to create a library management system. In this management system, you can add book, you can delete book, you can lend book, and you can return book. We don't gonna use any graphical interface. It's a very good example for a beginner to understand classes. Let's see some demonstration. And I am back to my Visual Studio Code editor. You can see in my terminal, welcome to National Library. Capital Q for exit. Display books, press capital D. Lend book, press capital L. Return book using capital R. Add book using capital A. Delete book using DEL. And then it asks for options. First, I want to display all the books. So I type capital D and enter. Our index starts with 0. So we have 4 books in our library. Our first book is Rich Dad Poor Dad. Our second book, Think and Grow Rich. Our third book, The 5-Second Rule. And our last book is The Alchemist. And once again it asks for option. But this time I want to lend a book. So I type capital L. Which book do you want to lend? And I want to lend the 5-Second Rule book. So I copy the name and provide in our input section. Then I hit enter. And it asks enter your name. Add one minge. Once again it asks for option. Let's try to lend the same book. So I type capital L. It asks which book do you want to lend? And I want to lend the same book. Enter your name. But this time our reader name is Smith. Sorry, this book is lent by add one minge. Already someone has taken the book. So we can't take it. If add one return it, then we can take it. Once again I type capital D to display books. And now I want to add a new book in our library. So I type capital A. It asks enter book name. And our book name is Wings of Fire. And then I type capital D to display book. You can see in my terminal, the new book is added to our list. Now we have 5 books in our list. Now we will see how we can delete a book. First I am going to type capital DEL. Then it asks enter password. Our password is 123456. Enter the book name which you want to delete. And I want to delete Think and Grow Rich book. It's work. Let's see how many books we have on our list. You can see there are only 4 books in our list. And Think and Grow Rich book is missing. Let's return the book that add one took. So I type capital R. Which book do you want to return? The 5-Second Rule. Enter your name. Add one minge. Once again, this book is available for lend. Now anyone can lend this book. I hope you like this exercise. It's a very good exercise for a beginner. In this exercise, you can clearly understand how object-oriented programming works, how we use classes in our program. Thanks for watching this video. See you soon. You can try your own way, otherwise you can follow my solution. See you on the solution part. Books. Hey, I am back to my Visual Studio Code editor. First I am going to create a Python file main.py. And then I create a single line comment creating function. I am going to start this program with a function def main. Inside the main function, I am going to create a list of books. Inside these square braces, our first book name is Rich Dad Poor Dad. Then, and our second book name is Think and Grow Rich. Our third book name is The 5-Second Rule. And our fourth book is The Alchemist. For now, we have only 4 books in our library. And then I create another variable library_name. And our library name is National Library. And I also create another variable secret key. And our secret key is 123456. We need to use this secret key to delete a book. And then I am going to use a print statement. Print welcome to National Library. Then \n for new line. Inside the single quote, capital Q for exit. \n for new line. Display book, press capital D. Once again \n for new line. Linked book, press capital L. Return book using capital R. Add book using capital A. Delete book using capital DEL. And then I'm going to write if name equal to main function. And inside this function I'm going to call our main function. And now we need to create a class for library. So I'm going to create a single line comment creating class for library. And then I'm going to create a class library. And then I'm going to use init constructor. Def __ init __ inside the parenthesis our first argument is self, then list of books, comma, and our last argument is library name. Then I create a single line comment for all book keys. Then self.lind_data equal to a blank dictionary. Then self.list of books equal to list of books. Next, self.library_name equal to library name. Now I am back to my main function. I am going to create a variable name myLibrary equal to I am going to call our library class. Inside the parenthesis I am going to pass list of books and then I am going to pass library name. And once again I am back to my library class. I am going to type a single line comment add books to dictionary. For books in self.list of books, insert the for loop self.lin data inside the curly braces books equal to none. None means no author have linked this book. And now I am going to create a function for display book. Def display_book inside the parenthesis self. And inside the display book function for index comma books in enumerate inside the parenthesis self.list of books. Inside the for loop print I am going to use f string. Inside the curly braces index once again inside the curly braces books. Then back to my main function and create a variable exit and exit equal to false. And then I am going to use a while loop. While inside the parenthesis exit is not true inside the while loop underscore input equal to input. And I am going to take option as input. Then print some dash lines. And then I am going to use if condition. If underscore input equal to capital Q, then insert the if condition exit equal to true. If user enter Q, then it's exit our program. And then I'm going to create condition for display book. Elif underscore input equal to capital D insert the elif condition. I am going to call display book function from our library class. So my library dot display_books. Let's run the code and check it's properly working or not. And I'm going to hit run button. And I'm going to type capital D to display book. It's look awkward. There is no space between index and book names. So I delete my terminal and I'm going to fix it. I just put a parenthesis between index and books and also give a space. And once again I'm going to hit run button and type capital D. Our index start with 0 and our first book name is Rich Dad Poor Dad and our second book Think and Grow Rich and our third book The 5-Second Rule and our last book The Alchemist. So our display book function working very perfectly. And now I'm going to create condition for linked book. So I just duplicate this ellipse condition and replace D with capital L. And I remove this function also. Let's create linked book function in our library class. Def linked underscore book, inside the parenthesis our first argument self, comma our second argument book underscore name and our third argument author underscore name. Then inside the linked book function I'm going to use if condition. If book underscore name in self dot list of books, inside the condition once again I'm going to use if condition. If self dot linked underscore data, inside the square braces I'm going to pass our book name is none. Then inside this if condition self dot linked underscore data, inside this square braces book underscore name equal to author name. Else I'm going to use a print statement. Inside this print statement I'm going to use f string. Sorry, this book is linked by, inside the curly braces self dot linked underscore data, inside the square braces book name. Else print you have written wrong book name. Then back to my main function. Our linked book function take two arguments, book name and author name. So first I'm going to create a variable book underscore name equal to input which book do you want to lend. And then I create another variable author name equal to input enter your name. Then I write a simple print statement book lend. And now I'm going to call lendBook function from library class. My library dot lend underscore book, inside the parenthesis our first argument book name and our second argument author name. Let's check the function it's working properly or not. So I'm going to hit run button. First I'm going to type capital D to display book. And I want to lend The Alchemist book. So I type capital L. Then it asks which book do you want to lend. I paste The Alchemist. Then it asks enter your name. I type advanminj. Then it show book lend. For now I'm going to type capital Q to exit it. Let's rerun the code. Once again I type capital D to display book. And then I type capital L to lend a book. Then it asks which book do you want to lend. And I'm going to type Wings of Fire. Enter your name. Advanminj. You can see in my terminal it print you have written wrong book name. Because this book is not available in our list of books. Let's back to the code. Now I'm going to create condition for return book. Elif underscore input equal to R. Inside the elif condition for now I type pass. Let's back to the library class. And I'm going to create a function for return book. Def return underscore book, inside the parenthesis it's take same argument self, book name and author name. Inside the return book function I'm going to copy the previous code and paste it inside the return book function. And I change is none to is not none. And I'm going to use pop function to return book. self dot linked underscore data dot pop inside the parenthesis book underscore name and change print statement to sorry, this book is linked. Then back to main function, insert the elif condition. I am going to copy the previous code and paste it inside the elif condition. And I am going to remove these print statements and change linked book function with return book and type which book do you want to return. And now I am going to create condition for add new book. Elif underscore input equal to capital A. Insert the elif condition. For now I am going to type pass. Let's back to library class. And I am going to create another function def add underscore book. And its take two argument self and book name. Insert the add book function self dot list of books dot append inside the parenthesis book name. Then self dot link data inside the square braces book underscore name equal to none. Let's back to elif condition. I am going to create a variable add book equal to input enter book name. This variable gonna take our new book name. And now I am going to call our function from our library class. My library dot add book inside the parenthesis I am going to pass our book name add book. Let's change the variable name, otherwise it looking confusing. I change the variable name with book name. Let's run the code and try to add a new book in our library. First I am going to press capital D to display books. And then I type capital A. It asks enter book name. And our book name is The Book Thief. And then I hit enter. And once again it asks for keyword. And I type D for display books. And now you can see in my terminal, it add a new book in our book list. Now we have 5 books in our library. Let's add another book. So I type capital A, enter book name, Wings of Fire. Then type capital D. You can see our 6th book name is Wings of Fire. Let's back to the code. At last, we need to create another condition for delete. Else if underscore input equal to capital DEL. Inside the elif condition, I am going to create a variable named password. Int input enter password. Using int function, we can convert our input into an integer. And then I am going to use if condition. If now I am going to use our secret key. Secret key equal to password. Then inside the if condition, book name equal to input. Enter book name. Let's back to library class and create another function for delete book. I just duplicate add book function and replace add book function with delete book. Similarly, it's take two arguments self and book name. And also we need to run pop function to remove this book name from our list. Linked underscore data dot pop inside this parenthesis book underscore name and replace append function with remove function. Finally, our code is complete. Let's run the code in our terminal. You can see in my terminal, welcome to National Library. Capital Q for exit. Display books, press capital D. Linked book, press capital L. Return book using capital R. Add book using capital A. Delete book using DEL. And then it asks for options. First, I want to display all the books. So I type capital D. And enter. Our index starts with 0. So we have 4 books in our library. Our first book is Rich Dad Poor Dad. Our second book, Think and Grow Rich. Our third book, The 5-Second Rule. And our last book is The Alchemist. And once again it asked for option. But this time I want to lend a book, so I type capital L. Which book do you want to lend? And I want to lend the 5-second rule book. So I copy the name and provide in our input section. Then I hit enter and it asks enter your name. Add one minge. Once again it asks for option. Let's try to lend the same book. So I type capital L. It asks which book do you want to lend? And I want to lend the same book. Enter your name. But this time our reader name is Smith. Sorry, this book is lent by add one minge. Already someone has taken the book, so we can't take it. If add one return it, then we can take it. Once again I type capital D to display books. And now I want to add a new book in our library. So I type capital A. It asks enter book name. And our book name is Wings of Fire. And then I type capital D to display book. You can see in my terminal, the new book is added to our list. Now we have 5 books in our list. Now we will see how we can delete a book. First I am going to type capital DEL. Then it asks enter password. Our password is 123456. Enter the book name which you want to delete. And I want to delete Think and Grow Rich book. It's work. Let's see how many books we have on our list. You can see there are only 4 books in our list. And Think and Grow Rich book is missing. Let's return the book that Advan took. So I type capital R. Which book do you want to return? The 5-second rule. Enter your name. Add one minge. Once again, this book is available for lend. Now anyone can lend this book. I hope you like this exercise. It's a very good exercise for a beginner. In this exercise, you can clearly understand how object-oriented programming works, how we use classes in our program. Thanks for watching this video. See you soon.